In the beginning, there was Plato, student of Socrates, born in 427 BC. His work blended ethics, political philosophy, moral psychology, and metaphysics into an interconnected system of philosophy. In 360 BC, he wrote the Timaeus. This document discussed the creation of the universe by a craftsman that was pure goodness. The Timaeus is believed to be ekos logos, a likely story, or ekos muthos, a likely account. We will dive into more details of the Timaeus later, but for now let's introduce our other main character. Aristotle, student of Plato, born 384 BC. He made contributions to logic, metaphysics, mathematics, biology, medicine, dance, and theater. He is famous for rejecting Plato's theory of forms. In 350 BC, he wrote On the Heavens. In this account, Aristotle emphasizes the physics of motions and proportions which took part in creating the universe. He is more concerned with deductive proof and argument, whereas his teacher Plato focuses on reason. On that note, let's break down the arguments in each of their renowned works, comparing and contrasting the kinds of proofs they each find convincing. In Plato's Timaeus, he introduces an all-good creator. The god was free from jealousy and desired all things to be as like himself as they could be. He found the whole visible sphere not at rest, and from disorder he brought order. One of Plato's theories developed when he attempted to discover the nature of essences, which he called forms. In the Timaeus, he said that there are forms of natural objects such as the four traditional elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Plato's craftsman created the body of the universe to consist of fire because it is visible, and earth because it is tangible. These two elements are unified by water and air, proof that solid bodies are compacted not by one mean, but two, harmonized by equal proportions. One cup of fire, 1 cup of water, and 1 cup of air. And voila, a masterpiece. Thus he made the world whole, not liable to old age or disease, and spherical because the extremes in every direction are equidistant from the center. Plato believes that forms are both the final and formal causes of things and are categorized into the hierarchy. The one, which is the form of all forms, can be divided into 5 of the greatest kinds of forms: beauty, sameness, difference, rest, and motion. These in turn comprehend all other lower forms, such as animal, and then man. This order of importance is analogous to the Timaeus' 4 levels of life created by the demiurge. Plato's psychology proofs involves the nature of the soul. Through the Timaeus' craftsman, Plato argues that intelligence requires a soul. Therefore, he puts intelligence in soul and soul in body to make the fairest and best by nature. Later he discusses that knowledge and true opinion differ in both nature and origin. One is produced by teaching, the other by persuasion. One always involves truth and rational argument, the other is irrational. True opinion can be shared by all men, whereas intelligence is by the gods and only attainable by a small number of men. In the Timaeus, the Creator gives the task of making humans to the lesser gods. He tells these gods to provide humans food, make them grow, and receive them again in death. The next clip shows the kinds of humans created by this theory.
Funny. Okay.
Actually, do that. Don't try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go.
Open Plato style. It's Aphrodite. Open Plato style. Aphrodite.
I know it's wrong.
I messed that whole thing up.
Let's talk about Plato's famous pupil, Aristotle. This Greek philosopher's main proofs involve dividing the means of persuasion and appeals into three categories. First off, ethos, the credibility or ethical appeal. The point of ethos is to project an impression on the reader that you are worth listening to. Second is pathos, the emotional appeal. And finally, logos, the logical appeal. This involves persuasion by the use of reason. There are two main types of reason portrayed throughout antiquity. Deductive, which is reasoning from a general to a specific instance, and inductive, which is reasoning from a specific case to a general rule. Similar to Plato's discussion about intelligence, Aristotle focuses on knowledge. Lloyd defines knowledge quite well, and I quote, "When we know the cause on which the fact could not be otherwise," unquote. This knowledge is produced by demonstration, which proceeds from three groups: axioms or principles, definitions or meanings, and hypotheses, or the assumptions of the existence of certain things corresponding to those terms. Axioms are common to all sciences, whereas definitions and hypotheses are different for different species. In On the Heavens, one of Aristotle's arguments is on the topic of physics. Aristotle's view on physics is to be clear on his conception of cause. He believes that four factors must be considered in giving an account of any object or event, whether natural or artificial. 1. Material cause, or made out of something. 2. Formal cause, or the shape. 3. Moving cause, so made by someone. And 4. The final cause, or purpose. The most important difference between natural and artificial applications is the final cause, which Aristotle gives credit to the conscious deliberation of the craftsman or artist, which is similar to Plato's Timaeus. He states that all things either rest or move, naturally or by constraint. When an item is moved by constraint, it is due to an unmoved mover, also similar to Plato's Creator. Further physical arguments for Aristotle include: speed is directionally proportional to the weight of the body, an object with a greater mass of fire or earth will move quicker and towards its place, all movement is straight, circular, or a combination of the two, and all motion is either away from, towards, or about the center. Another comparison between the Timaeus and On the Heavens include the four main elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Instead of combining these ingredients to form a masterpiece, Aristotle focuses on their motion and compounds. He says that earth is cold and dry, water is cold and wet, air is hot and wet, and fire is hot and dry. Also, fire and air move upwards and are made of lightness, whereas water and earth move downwards and are made of heaviness. Another of Aristotle's arguments involves the existence of gods. According to him, men have some conception of the nature of the gods, and those who believe in the existence of gods allot the highest place to the deity. Contrasting Plato, who said we should believe the gods because most people believed in them, and the majority is unlikely to be wrong, Aristotle takes caution when generalizing and instead tends to say, for the most part, instead of using the absolute always. Another aspect of Aristotelian philosophy that stands out is the existence of ether. This primary body is ranked highest among earth, air, water, and fire, and is derived from the fact that it is eternal and forms the heavens, which are exempt from decay or generation. Aristotle argues that God and nature create nothing that has no use, meaning everything has a final cause or purpose. There is a cliché that goes, "The apple doesn't fall far from the tree." Even though Plato sees things overall as quantitative and his pupil Aristotle sees things as qualitative, they both share some arguments throughout their well-known works. Plato and Aristotle both believe that the earth is at the center of the universe and was created by rational design. They agree that only certain and irrefutable knowledge can be called knowledge, and what the philosopher investigates is the form and universal. It is not the particular and is not by accident. So in the end, despite some conflicting arguments, this teacher-student duo have an intriguing impact on ancient Greek philosophy and even make a fun topic for a video project.